Hello, and welcome to Week 7 of the Little Legends League. This week I'm playing the Calamitous Cutie Flies, coached by pausechamp. Looking at Paus's team, there's one huge threat, Zacian. Paus also has Hisuian Samurott, which is a great lead with Ceaseless Edge. After that, the main threat is the Rain Core of Politoed, Kingdra, and Overqwil. Let's get into my build to handle these monsters. I'm expecting Paus to lead with Samurott, so I'm going to use Dugtree as my counter lead. First, I'll get up rocks. Then, with this EV spread, I can live Ceaseless Edge and be knocked into Custap range. From there, I can use a powerful reversal. The reason I'm not running Focus Sash is because Samurott can easily run Aqua Jet, which would just kill me after I get rocks. With Custap, I can outrun Aqua Jet and get off a big hit, possibly outright KOing Samurott if it doesn't run a Sash of its own. I also have an Earthquake for reliable stab and Sucker Punch to hit Miss Magus. I think it's a neat lead and should hopefully deny more than one spike. Next up is my Zacian counter. Swalot. And yes, that's true. With this defense investment and Pyappa Berry, Swat always lives with +3 Psychic Fangs after one spike. Then it can Terra Poison and Oko Zero Bulk Zacian with Gunk Shot. Everything else is just extra. Earthquake hits Overqwil, Ice Punch hits Toadscruel, and Knockoff is good general utility. Swat's purpose in this match is to switch it on Zacian as he uses Swords Dance, lives the next hit, and then take it out with Gunk Shot. If Swat can do that, I'm very happy with that outcome. Now for my answer to the Rain Core, Slowking. It's Water typing, Great Bulk, and Chilly Reception. Slowking is a great pivot and disruptor against Rain. Slowking's inherent trinks made a good answer against Politoed and Kingdra, but Overqwil poses a bigger problem. So the purpose of this spread is always live a max attack Life Orb Crunch from Overqwil or 2 hits from Choice Specs Draco Meteor from Kingdra. The rest I put into special attack. Skull is a nice choice to discourage Overqwil from switching in hard on Slowking, and Second Noise is good for hitting Politoed and Kingdra. Slowking is about as good of a rain answer as I can ask for, so I've got to bring it. Thundurus is up next as a strong attacker just to deal big damage, but with a couple of tricks too. Firstly, I'm running a bulky spread to thread, setting up agility and blazing past everything except for Swift Swimmers in the rain. With this bulk, Thundurus can live a Specs Draco Meteor from Kingdra. The second tricky technique is Weather Ball. With an Ice-type Weather Ball from Snow that Slowking sets, the otherwise good answer to Thundurus, Toadscruel, suddenly gets OHKO'd by a quadruple effective move. Besides that, I'm running Thunderbolt for stab and Sludge Wave to hit Zacian. Generally just a strong attacker, but with a couple of surprises. Next up is Giratina to ruin physical attackers' days as usual. Specifically, I want to bring Giratina so I can roar out subs that Worthworm might pass with Shedtail. I really don't want to deal with Zacian receiving a sub and setting up, so I have to prepare for the possibility. Will-O-Wisp lets Giratina burn the physical attackers, and it doesn't match up well into either Zacian or Overqwil, but it's bulky enough to simply live a hit from either anyway and get off the Wisp. I ran Safety Goggles so I could switch it on Toadscruel to simultaneously Spin Block and ignore Spore. I didn't really need any other specific utility, so I ran Strong Stab in the form of Poltergeist and Draco Meteor. Luckily on Paus's team can really deal with both of those moves, so it's a nice combo and keeps Giratina from being too passive. Finally, Magearna. This is quite simply Demon Manic, but with Aura Sphere instead of Stored Power, so I can hit Ortsworm, for which I have 12 speed to speed creep. Besides that, it's typical max HP and physical defense, which in this case is good for taking on all of Paus's physical attackers. This set does struggle against Rotom Heat, but only Rotom can stop Magearna, and I can potentially wear it down over the course of the game enough to sweep with Magearna anyway. I didn't do anything crazy with Mag here, but I didn't feel the need to. I'll only start getting crazy in the playoffs. So that sums up my team for this week. Now let's get into the battle. Alright, getting into the battle now. We have the expected lead off of Dugtrio and Samurott. So I get off my rocks and my plan is stopped by a Ceaseless Edge crit. But at least I get off my rocks. That does suck, but you know, you have to deal with it. So I go into Magearna here because I know I can be threatening a Samurott. I just start taking damage on it because it'd be nice to have that. But it's not really respecting Magearna, so I start setting up here. I go for another Drain Kiss after the +1. Rotom Heat comes in, has boots. Can't really deal with an overheat of Magearna, so I go into Giratina to take that. Easily tanks the overheat, and now I'm threatening to do kind of whatever I want. So Samurott comes back in, and I drop a Draco, so Samurott's done. So 5-5 Zacian comes out. Zacian goes for Crunch. Does like no damage. I get off a burn. So Zacian's already been neutered. At this point I can preserve Giratina's health and go to Swalot. So Swalot gets in as Zacian Sword Stances as planned. But it doesn't look like it brought Psychic Fangs, just goes for Crunch, which does menial damage, and Terra Poison Swalot takes out Zacian. Swalot my king. I do give some luck back here. Hydro Pump missing, I get off a Gunk Shot on Polito, which does a ton of damage. Hydro Pump then lands on the next turn, so Swalot goes down, but it's already done its job and more. I take in Slowking here. You can always easily switch it on the Politoed, chill you out. And I figure I don't really want to die to Gunk Shot or anything, but I can also just take a hit, so I decided to just take over Cool Out. It's kind of a big problem for my team, and in my eyes it was more worth it just to kind of trade there. So Kingdra comes back, Revenge kills me with the Ice Beam. Interestingly, they're both fast enough to outspeed Thunderous outside of Rain. Politoed comes back and sets the Rain, take out Psychic Noise, and here comes Kingdra. Kind of the main threat left, drops a Draco, crits me. I barely lived this. That's a really spooky moment. If Slowking had gone down there, it would have been over. Rodent Heat comes back in against Magearna. I know it's going to come in, so I just hit with a Aura Sphere and accept my fate. Take the Overheat. And so at this point, I can go to Giratina at -2. Rodent can't really touch Giratina. And so I just take the opportunity to drop a Draco. I didn't really need to use Draco or Poltergeist, like either or. But Draco covers the Kingdra switch in, and I can always drop a second on Kingdra, but it drops one on me first. And finally it's down to Slowking against Kingdra, and I barely live. 1%. I slack it off. All that can stop me now is a crit, 21%. We do know the crit will kill me almost from full, so I'm just going to continue slacking off here, get back to full health. There's no reason to risk it, so I'm just going to burn all of the Draco Meteors, slacking off. And yeah, there's no more crits here. Kingdra out of Draco Meteors, starts struggling, and that's a game. Kingdra going down to a final struggle. So yeah, basically, I won this game by 1%, which is crazy. It is incredibly close. So, you know, big GG's to Pause. That was an excellent game. Had a bit of luck here and there, but, you know, it balanced out, I feel. And yeah, that covers it for Week 7. Hopefully you're enjoying this. And we just got one more week in the regular season to go. That's Week 8. And after that, it's going to be playoff time. Hope to see you there. Bye.